When I tell y'all this is a problem, and I believe in one other video I said that when they talk about, making cuts, when it comes down to cutting funding, they're saying it will happen over like decades. And I promise you guys, when they talk about cutting funding to programs, it happens just like this, not over the next decade, as they say. It literally happens just like this. So here's a program that I myself actually used to utilize. And they're talking about cutting funding, and now the program isn't going to be available for a bunch of kids. So let's go ahead and see exactly what they're talking about. And I'm officially checking in over here at Moments with Us. You all check in. Let us know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Of course, I'm checking in from Northern New Jersey. To this Dollar Tree over in Maplewood. Our stable milk is also A+. These past few years showed me. Hey family, welcome back to another video. This is Shauna and I'm officially checking in over here at Moments with Us. You all check in. Let us know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Of course, I'm checking in from Northern New Jersey. So in order for an average family that have children to make it and to go to work, before care programs, after care programs are very much utilized for these families. Like I said, I used to utilize them myself. So the Boys and Girls Club, if you guys have not heard about the Boys and Girls Club, they have plenty of locations from state to state. The Boys and Girls Club is in jeopardy of losing funding for summer and after school programs. Man, hundreds of kids across New Jersey, this is for New Jersey, are at risk of losing their summer and after school programs because of a massive pause in federal grant money. On Monday, the U.S. Department of Education notified states that it was pausing fund distribution for the 21st Century Grant Program starting July 1st. Wow. So this organization, and plenty of organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, is a critical program for students and families. The Boys and Girls Club of Patterson said they are in danger of losing $575,000 in grant money. They said that they have 15 staff members that they employ. We have 200 families that depend on us for academic intervention, meals, and just a safe space, which is, the Boys and Girls Club is really just, it's a safe space. It is. I love the Boys and Girls Club. So across New Jersey, Boys and Girls Club stands to lose nearly $4 million in funding for local after-school and summer programming, impacting 1,700 youth served over 10 different clubs. They're saying our children receive individualized academic instruction from certified teachers. They're thriving, they're blossoming. So the 21st Century Funding supports 3 school-based sites, 150 kids, and employs 21 people. The programming provides a safe space for parents to leave their children during typical vulnerable hours. That's when times are a bit dangerous, after school times as well as summertime with nothing to do. And parents have no other option but to put their kids in summer camp so they can continue to work and, pay bills. Simple. It's particular help for parents whose children need extra structure and routine to stay on track. They said that they're really concerned because they made great strides with one of their members. The mom worked full time and actually needs the program. They also shared how the programs have particularly benefited one of their participants, a 7-year-old kid. They saying that they're high needs, they're neurodiverse, special needs. And if we lose the funds to support kids like this one, options for that child will diminish quickly, because though they're saying there's a lot of services for special needs kids, and don't get me wrong, there are services for special needs kids, but not all of them are good services, if you know what I mean. We're going to talk about that in a minute, because I actually have a special needs child myself. I know a lot of you probably in a lot of my videos heard me say Dante, Dante, Dante. It's always Dante. Yeah, it's a lot. You know, in certain services and certain groups of people are actually helpful in those situations. And to cut the funding, especially for even when it comes down to children like that, when they become comfortable in a certain environment, to take it away, it's a lot. The Boys and Girls Club have enough funding to get through the summer, but will have to rethink options if the grant money remains on pause. If we do not get that funding, if that funding is not reinstated, we're going to have to think creatively about how we're going to continue to serve those kids. Man, that's a lot. So the funding being cut. I know there was a Job Corp situation as well recently that I discussed or going to discuss about funding being cut as well. And honestly, when it comes down to these cuts, it's really affecting those who really need it, lower income families. And I don't know, when it comes down to the lower income families, I feel like we work hard and receive less. Even middle class. You know, the harder you work, the less you receive. It don't make sense. It don't. And when it comes down to this whole funding situation, the Boys and Girls Club is such a great program, at least from my experience. I loved it. Well, my son loved it. Only my oldest went to the Boys and Girls Club. That's when I really needed it. Between, I was going to college and working and doing everything, and Dad was doing his thing with his job, and we really needed that extra support, in the Boys and Girls Club definitely came through. Especially for people like who don't have families that's willing to, really help. Like it's just me and Dad. So we had to do what we had to do. We put our son in the Boys and Girls Club, and like I said, it definitely helped. Such a great program. I mean, so many benefits from this program. He learned how to swim through them. I qualified for program for parents at the time, though I still had to pay a little out of pocket. But I did qualify for program for parents, and they did help with the cost of, the Boys and Girls Club. They did like homework. They did extra activities, little sports here and there. But the swimming thing, they're the reason my son know how to swim. He did swimming the first time with him, doing a swimming lesson. He became hip to that water, and he never forgot. So that's one of his memories with them. I'm not gonna say mine because I'm over here taking his memories. But yes, it is such a great program. Definitely benefits parents. If they're working, for me at least, it was definitely that safe space for a child to go. Plenty of on-hand staff, and if you did have or do have special needs children, and you did send them to the Boys and Girls Club and had a great experience, y'all know then. So they definitely such a great program that I would hate to see go. The Boys and Girls Club been around since I was little. Yeah, since I was a youngin'. So a lot of this funding that's being cut, I think, is targeted towards lower income people who really needs it. And it's really not a good thing. And it's gonna really do some danger for families who's trying to make it. Or just get by. Because honestly, trying to make it is really just getting by. It sucks. So more and more funding would be cut for a lot of programs. Theirs right now is just paused. Hopefully it's not completely cut. And I hate seeing where a lot of this stuff is going. I really do. And that's how I honestly feel. Though we try to, keep the smile on and everything, it's hard to see, the stuff that's really unfolding and happening in real time. And some people really thought, it's years to come. No, it's not. It's unfolding, y'all. A lot of stuff. And it's not just about all the funding being cut. It's not just about that. It's about what families are going to do. Because they're not talking about no replacements of, of these programs. They're not talking about that. Once it's cut, it's cut. That's it. Anyhow, we're going to leave this video right here where it's at. If you guys knew about the Boys and Girls Club or utilized them before, definitely let us know your experience. Such a great program that I would hate to see, go. It seems like they can, they did, like, people did pay out of pocket. Not everybody received some type of funding to help pay. Some people actually paid out of pocket for the Boys and Girls Club. Like I said, I would hate to see it go. And if you are new here and you did enjoy today's video, all you have to do is subscribe to become part of the family. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Until next time, y'all, this is Shauna, and I'm officially checking out from Moments with Us. Make sure you all stay prepped, stay blessed, stay safe, and most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. Love you all, and God bless. Peace.